Welcome back. You're watching Trend Wave now, where we bring to you all the stories trending on the social media space. Now, tongues have been wagging all over the social media space following the announcement by the federal government of Nigeria on Wednesday of the procurement of 40 buses at the cost of $1.2 million to evacuate at least 2,400 stranded Nigerians out of the war-torn Sudan. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, affirmed this at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. But it seems like these figures aren't pleasing to so many Nigerians who say that the money claimed to be used for the procurement of 40 buses is rather on the high side. Let's take a look at some of the reactions very quickly. Now, that is the first post by Abike Dabre. It says, late in the night, we'll get a clearer view in the morning, but in that dark shot are buses that will convey Nigerian students to nearby borders in Egypt. That was a long before post, but let's see how people are reacting to this story. Barfreeze goes on to say, but they are just moving them to a nearby border in Egypt before airlifting them home. What will happen to the bought buses? Now, that's a big question on the mouth of Nigerians. We'll take a look at how more Nigerians are reacting to this story. I am H.OC says, any given opportunity where una see, una must use and loot money. How can you purchase 40 buses for $1.2 million? EFCC know they see all these kind of things, do their investigations. I'm tired of Nigeria. That's according to I am H.OC. The sought after says, as a Ghanaian, my heart is broken. How does this even make sense? How can your politicians be so heartless and cruel? I really feel for Nigerians. Well, interesting one. This one's from Sober Drunk. Sober Drunk goes on to say $1.2 million isn't too much for 40 buses. That amounts to about $22 million per bus, as long as the buses will be brought back to Nigeria and maintained as national assets. So that's according to Sober Drunk. But of course, there are many reactions to this story. People are wondering, why do we have to use that amount for just buses? Are these buses flying? Do these buses fly? Or what happens to these buses after? Like, people are just wondering. But let's take the story now. Let's move on now, where the Liberian National Police has announced the arrest of Nicholas Jack Davies, also known as George Wade, the ex-boyfriend of actress Empress Njamah, for victimizing over 20 women. Now, let's recall that Wade had fled the country in January after releasing actress Njamah's nude videos on social media. Now, in a trending video on social media on Monday, Wade was spotted in handcuffs while being led out by security operatives, and the Liberian police revealed this in a live broadcast shared on the agency's Facebook page on Monday following his arrest. Well, he's currently being investigated at the central headquarters in Liberia, and we don't know yet if he will be extradited to Nigeria. Reacting to this, Empress Njamah took to her social media page to drop her 2 cents. Now, that's it from Empress Njamah. She goes on to say, when you touch a child of grace, you'll be disgraced. Never ever underestimate the power of prayer. Talk less and do more. Never be ashamed to tell your story. Women are strong. Women, you can change the narrative, walk with your head up high, and she goes on and on and on. Basically talking about the fact that she's a child of grace and God has made this possible for him to get arrested. But let's take a look at how people are reacting to this particular one on social media. Future_clinic says, Dear Empress Njamah, I think you should just be mute and do more observations. Reacting to your fans' negative comments would only stir up negative emotional behavior in you. That's my advice as a counselor. You are a strong superwoman. More comments on this story. Chris Oje says, child of grace, what you did is what we expect as mistakes from girls under 18, and we would let it slide. A woman at 42 trending for her nudes everywhere, and you're using the word child of grace. Hide yourself in shame, I beg. That's according to Chris Oje. Ikechukwu goes on to say, what's making this man smile? Are you guys sure this man is normal or is not? Are you sure he's not on drugs? Because why is he smiling? More reactions to this story. Gentle King says, Nigerians start prayer when they get into trouble, when they fornicate. Them know they pray, basically saying that Nigerians just use prayer for everything. Like, it's just almost like ridiculous. Chick_Avenue says, looking at the guy, I wonder what attracted her to him. They should make him pay all the blackmail money he collected, plus extra for damages, and also sponge all our nudes and the other people's nudes he has from his system. See him looking like the abomination of the Ammonite. But what is interesting about this story is that Nigerian actress Inedo has somehow been caught in the web of this drama after a report of an affair also with George Wade. And now reacting to the reports to this story on Tuesday, Iniedo downplayed the romantic affair rumors, explaining that Wade had contacted her posing as a movie producer who wanted to cast her in his movie. She also revealed that during a conversation, he drifted and started proposing a relationship with her, which she declined instantly. To be honest, the updates on this story are quite shocking. It seems to be developing continuously, but we'll continue to keep an eye on this story.